guys, what a pleasure this is. A friend of the show, someone I love to chat to, one of the best coaches in the game of the sport, you know, from coaching basically all the great fighters in the sport, from Fracis Ngannou to Sean Strickland, coming up in Sydney at UFC 312. The awesome Eric Nicksick joins me back on Submission Radio. Amid a bit of a outbreak in his household with the kids getting a little bit sick, and it's still joining me. I appreciate you, Eric. How are you, man?
We're dodging bullets back here in this house. So no, it's all good, but it's good to see you.
How's it feel going into the Christmas period, knowing you've had another incredible year as a coach, just recently nominated on the World MMA Awards yet again, you know, always sort of front of mind for everybody when it comes to one of the brightest minds in the game?
It's good, and I'm proud of the consistency that the gym is putting out. That's the main thing is, you know, we're getting the recognition, but we're winning fights, and by winning fights, you're going to get that year in and year out. So just being consistent and continuing on with that trend is most important to me.
You can celebrate these things. You're a very modest guy.
Yeah, I think you can get drunk off your own success, and you can lose sight of what got you here. And it's not only me; it's the team. It's all of us. You know, that really makes a difference. So, you know, and that's my upbringing. I came up from team sports, so the accolades and the love and the support, you know, means a ton. But you know, it's about the people around me that help. And you know, at the bottom line is the guys that are going there that are winning the fights. They make us look good.
You guys have like a team dynamic, like not a lot of cheap, and it's an individual sport, right? But you guys somehow almost get this kind of like, you know, the movie The Replacements when they're all together in the bar drinking.
Yeah,
like you guys have that connection, man. Was it like that always, or did you feel like that was one of your missions when you first came into the gym? Let's give these guys that feel that this is more than just an individual thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was like that in the beginning, but it was something that I did notice coming from a football background that I felt like we did lack a little bit. And then, you know, our vision of what we wanted to create as a team with myself and Dennis Davis, Ray Sefo, you know, the rest of the guys, the rest of the coaches in the room, it really starts with us as leadership, the way we act, the way we carry ourselves, but the way we take care of one another. The coaches take care of one another. It has a trickle-down effect. You know, and then we start, you know, doing more and more stuff as a team, but the camaraderie that builds and the guys that understand, like, hey, when I'm out of camp, you know, I need to be there to help the next guy up, because when it's my turn, this guy's going to be here for me. And, you know, one hand washes the other mentality. And that just really forms the bond and who and what we have.
Dude, I'm excited. You're coming down to Sydney, UFC 312, Sean Strickland. It's happening with DDP. How relieved are you now that it's official? I know, like, Sean was messaging me on Instagram for a while saying this is the fight that's happening, this is the fight that they're working to, but a lot of people are talking maybe it's Khamzat, maybe it's Sean, maybe it's Khamzat. Must be nice to have it out in the open now.
Yeah, no, I mean, Khamzat did his job. He did everything he was supposed to do the best and right way that he could to you know, overtake that position for us. But you know, thankfully the UFC stuck by their word, and Sean's up next, and now it's our job to go get our title back.
Isn't it weird, though, how Khamzat is going to be in Australia at the same time? I don't know if you know this, but he's literally in Australia at the same time doing seminars as you guys having this fight. Insane. Especially for a guy like him who can't really get out of the country too often.
Sure. I wonder if he's going to be the backup. You know, I don't know if that's a scenario that they're looking for or why he'll be there. But, you know, that's you know, it worked out perfectly timing for him if that's the case.
What would you think of him being the backup, by the way? Obviously, going to Australia, cutting the weight. DDP is a massive, massive dude. Would you guys prepare for him secretly in the background if that's the case? And also, when does the UFC tell you this kind of stuff?
They usually let us know, you know, a month or two ahead of time, just for that same reason. You know, we knew Jared Cannonier was the backup for our fight with Izzy. So we, in our head, like we'd already fought Jared. So we had an idea of what we needed to do if that were to be the case. So yeah, I think definitely if they announce that Khamzat is the backup, you certainly should have like 2 play calls in the huddle, you know, like if there's something changes. So we need to be prepared for it.
Yeah, two absolute monsters. Who do you think is the harder challenge for Sean here? Obviously, the DDP fight was super duper close. You know, some people still believe he won that fight.
Sure.
Do you think Khamzat or DDP are the harder fight? Who's the harder fight out of those two?
Ooh, I mean, you have to say DDP because you know he won, he beat us, and that's right now you have to say that because that's the task at hand. You know, I think Khamzat presents tons of different variables to his style that we're going to have to look at how to break down once that challenge presents itself. But right now, you know, DDP is the toughest challenge for us, and that's the guy we need to focus on.
It's funny as well. Khamzat's kind of building out this rivalry between him and Sean at the moment on Instagram. I think like the guys got along pretty well though when they were in the gym. Do you think this is all just to try and build for a future fight, or what do you think that is?
Yeah, they're probably messaging each other, telling you know what they're going to say next. Who knows? But yeah, they seem like they got along just fine when they're training at the gym. I loved having Khamzat in the gym. I loved having Darren Till in the gym. You know, they elevated the game for us. You know, so it was nice, and everyone got along just fine. So, but you know, I get it now. They're right there within striking distance of fighting, and maybe you have to kind of build that bad blood amongst one another to go out and fight. But you know, as far as I saw when they were training together, everything was good.
Were you surprised when you saw what he did to Robert Whittaker? Like, did you know that Khamzat's grappling was at that level and he was going to be able to do that, or were you expecting this to happen when the fight was announced?
I don't think you were going to be surprised either way. Like, no, I wasn't surprised because I think Khamzat is that good. And I think what makes him so good is his blend between his level changes, his feints, and his striking to his wrestling. He's very good there. I mean, I've held pads for him before, and just seeing him tie it all together really makes a lot of sense. But I wouldn't have been surprised if Robert Whittaker won either. I think they're both elite when it comes to this weight class in this division. So nothing really surprised me, to be honest with you. And you know, I think Khamzat did what he had to do and went out there and performed perfectly and got the job done the way that he did, and in fact, won in an emphatic fashion.
Dude, I saw that. Speaking of, you know, emphatic fashion, man, I can't wait for this fight with Sean and DDP. I saw Sean was over at the stem cell clinic, getting some stem cells done. How's he doing physically, man? Because I guess that's the thing people always forget. Like he was in that accident, right? I think it was a motorcycle accident. Did his knee pretty bad. How's he doing physically? Are the stem cells sort of helping him out going into this camp? And how do you guys even navigate around that knee injury, man? It must be pretty tough to figure out how to train around all that.
He just got sick of us making fun of how unathletic he is. You know, he can't jump. He has zero vertical. Can't run a 40. You know, so we're just all picking on him every time. But no, this is perfect for him. It was within good timing. He went and got the stems done on his knee. You know, just really some upkeep. That's really it. And so he had to sit out last week, and he came in and helped coach. He was there every day for every session, coaching the guys and helping out. I mean, that just goes to show you the teammate that he is. But, you know, I think he had to take 2 weeks off to let the stem cells kind of set and do their thing. So today will be his first practice back for pro.
I mean, how much does that knee impact him realistically? Does it impact him, or is it just one of those things where it's like it's just part of his style now? He just knows how to deal with it.
Yeah, I think it's part of his style now, you know, but honest to God, it's just literally like, we'll do certain drills and he's like, I can't do that. Like I can't frog hop, or I can't, you know, bear crawl, I can't whatever. And all we do is just make fun of him. So it's probably a lot of it's the reason why we're going to get stem cells done.
How do you feel about coming back to Australia, man? Last time you guys came back to Australia, you guys always got thrown out of the country, right?
Nah, man, I can't wait. I loved it there. I had a freaking blast. You know, I just seriously, I fell in love with the whole entire town of Sydney. Australia was amazing. The people were amazing. I spent most of my time just cruising, man. Like, you know, we trained, we had our training regiment set up. I get up in the morning, I'd walk a couple miles here and there. You know, Danny Davis, one of my best friends, you know, got to spend time with him. I got to see some friends of mine that were out there. I really enjoyed it. And I can't wait to get back out there, especially with how warm of a welcome that we got last time we were there. And I feel like, you know, Sean was kind of adopted by the city, and, you know, I'm looking forward to get back out there again.
Him punching the fan, man. Do you still remember the feeling that you got when you found out this happened? What went through your mind when you first heard this happened? How did you find out?
I just kind of giggled, man. I was just like, oh, dude, no way. No way. Like, are we getting kicked out? Like, what's the deal? I was like, it is what it is. I was there for Manel too. So it was like, I'm going to be here cornering one way or another. So But this is going to suck if we get pulled for punching a fan in his stomach or whatever the hell he did. So yeah, you can't go through fight week without some sort of Sean mishap or some shit that's going to pull,
Was that the first time, by the way, that he's ever sort of had like a thing with a fan in a fight week?
Oh yeah, first time I've ever seen it. But for the most part, people just love and adore him. Everywhere we go, and he's so gracious with the fans. He'll take time to do photos and talk to him as much as he can. Sign autographs, whatever he can do. So no, he's always been super amazing when it comes to that stuff. And just so happened that one guy caught him on a bad day.
So that first fight, man, obviously it was pretty close. A lot of people, like I mentioned, thought maybe Sean won that fight. When time to sort of think about this, what kind of for a sec, here I am. What kind of adjustments do you make in this second fight going into this rematch in Sydney, do you think?
I wish I could tell you. No, there's quite a few things I think. And here's the thing is stop feeling sorry for yourself, meaning us, that the narrative of like, oh, we were robbed or we won or whatever. The fight's over. DDP has now won the belt and has now defended the belt. So it's almost like a clean, fresh slate. And we have to go out there and try to execute a game plan to go unseat the champion. That's the way I look at it. The bottom line is he did enough. The judges felt, the people that matter felt he did enough. There's some really good things that we did in that fight that we can add on to. And there's some things that I feel like we got away from that we need to try to implement more of. So, and I also know DDP pretty well. And I know he's going to come up with something new and something fresh and something creative that's going to throw a wrench in everything or do something that we're going to have to make some adjustments on. So I can't wait.
After you guys have been in there with him in the octagon for an extended period of time, what do you think it is about DDP that just makes him so dangerous? I think there's like an X factor, an intangible that people can't really figure out until they either go in the octagon with him or they see him win a number of times.
Oh, to me, it's his heart. 100%. It's his heart. Like, he just feel like there's a tenacity to him. There's a grittiness to him, and he self-admittedly will say like, not everything that I do looks beautiful or looks, it doesn't look as technical as somebody else does, but whatever it is, he just believes in everything that he does. And he believes that he's the best at it. And he's been proving it time and time again. He said that before he was a champion and he's doing it right now. So, but in my opinion, I think it's his mindset. I think it's his heart. I think those things really carry him through. And he doesn't have an ego about him. He listens well to his coach. He listens well to constructive criticism. And I think that it's really just going to keep helping him grow in the sport.
You think this fight looks the same, or do you think this is going to be a completely different looking fight this time around?
Well, shit, I hope it looks different. I hope it looks different. But
I guess last time it was a battle, this one, does it go a bit quicker or does it,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about any of that stuff. I know that, there's things that we could have done better. I do know that. And I think there's things that could have been executed better. We're well aware of that. And I think if we can get those things straightened out and we can, do the things the right way, then I think it's going to have a much better, complexity for us as a team. And we're going to get out there with that belt.
Last time there was a bit of heat going into the fight, right? Sean jumping on. This is the best. I still think it's the greatest cut to in UFC history. Sean's like, hey guys, let's go. Hey, sorry, can you please move your family over? And it just jumps on the guy, punch. Like the WWE couldn't script it better, bro. Like it was unbelievable. And they got the shots and then DDP's like,
yeah.
So what are you expecting from number 2, man? Do you think it gets back to that heat level, or do you think this is just going to be a couple of guys that, all right, there's a big task ahead of us? And I know that DDP respects Sean, right? And
sure.
I know Sean respects DDP. So do you believe it's going to be more respectful, or it's going to be more of the same craziness?
I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. I think that they need to build this fight and they need to build that bad blood, but I know deep down they truly respect one another and they appreciate one another, but they got to sell this fight. So who the hell knows what these two are going to pull off. But at the end of the day, it's not my job. I got to X's and O's and sit back and watch. And hopefully we don't get any fights with fans or do any bullshit on the side or whatever. Just make it to the fight and go out and execute.
I remember actually last time when we spoke in Sydney, the UFC gave you guys a security guard that just followed you guys around the whole time. And that guy was a legend. I loved him. He was so stoic. He just kind of stood there.
Luke.
But the guy was like a bad man, a bad man. Like you just do not. I was just like, hello, sir. It's nice to meet you.
I can't wait. He's back.
He's back?
Yes.
Are you guys going to have him full time from the time you touch down now?
I don't give a shit if we need him or not. He's part of the team. Luke's coming back. So that was the first message we all sent one another on WhatsApp was to Luke. Like, Luke, we're back. Let's go, baby. And he's like, let's fucking go. Yeah, Luke is the man, dude. That guy is a legend. I cannot wait to see him. He's such a great guy. And that's what I feel like we've been missing this whole time is Luke, our bodyguard.
You know what I love about Luke? He's like, hey, man, you guys keep me in business. Every time Sean Strickland fights, I'm always going to have a job here.
Oh, yeah, 100%, man. That's honestly like low key. I can't wait to get back to Sydney for everything. But, Luke being there and hanging out with the crew again is definitely a cherry on top.
Awesome, dude. All right. Well, before we wrap, we got some fan questions for you, Eric. People are super excited to see that you were coming on the program, so we got some fun ones. I want to thank our sponsors for making Submission Radio possible, and of course, MANSCAPED. One of the sponsors that's been with us the longest is your go-to this holiday season. I want to talk to you guys about the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra by MANSCAPED. Don't be that family member who shows up solo and scruffy to yet another holiday gathering. Get your winter overgrowth under control with the Weed Whacker 2.0 and that Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, baby. It helps you seal the deal this cuffing season. Who knows, you might even outshine your weird uncle who's still rocking the goatee from 1985 and claim your spot at the top of the sibling power rankings. It's the all-for-one grooming kit. You got the Lawnmower 5.0. Of course, we know this thing is the best. The Weed Whacker 2.0 for your ear and nose hair. And of course, the Bowl Aftercare and the free gifts included. The Boxer 2.0, which is the Midnight Bravo, and the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag, which I love to use during the holiday time myself. It is what I'm wearing right now. Go to Manscaped right now, use the code word submission, get a massive discount, free shipping, plus you're supporting the show. A big thanks to Manscaped for supporting the program for all these years. Speaking of great things this holiday season, why not try SAILY? SAILY is your eSIM that keeps you connected wherever you go around the world this holiday season. You only have to download it once. It's affordable prices no matter where you go. Global and regional plans. It saves you time. You don't have to wait in line at the airport to get a local SIM card, which I absolutely hate. You can avoid scams that, obviously sell you the fake SIM cards at those airports, outside train stations, and other little areas. All SAILY eSIM plans are compatible for iOS or Android services, 24/7 support, and you get a full refund if your device isn't eSIM compatible. I just downloaded the app. Here I am. Here I want to travel to France, and boom, it's that simple. All you guys got to do is download the app, go through the prompts, and you're sorted, mate. Go to SAILY.com/submission. Use the code word submission and get a massive 15% off your first purchase. Try SAILY this holiday season. Trust me, it's an absolute game changer. Speaking of this holiday season, when you're traveling abroad, thanks to SAILY, you're able to connect with everyone. What about staying safe? Thanks to NORDVPN. NORDVPN is the best VPN out there, the very best app out there. You can try it risk-free today by clicking the link in the description. Why do you choose NORDVPN, do you ask? Well, you got the Threat Protection Pro, you got the global service network. It's incredibly fast, reliable encryption, safe from disruptions, and 24-hour support 7 days a week. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. If you don't like it, you don't have to keep it. Try it for 30 days. What do you have to lose? And of course, don't forget, you've got the Nord Locker file encryption tool. You've got the NordPass password manager. It's all happening at NordVPN. Protect yourself on public Wi-Fi. Find yourself cheaper deals online. Get yourself cheaper flights, cheaper streaming services, cheaper everything thanks to NordVPN. Protects your data and all your information. You don't want to lose your credit card information during the holiday time. Trust me, it is the worst thing that can happen to you. And of course, you can connect up one account to 10 devices. So you're absolutely sorted with NordVPN. Get this massive deal right now, plus 4 months extra free by going to nordvpn.com/submission. NordVPN is the best VPN in the game. Jump on it now. Now back to the program. All right, so first question here is, what's the favorite thing to get from a gas station? Bit of a random question here from Jamal El Janali, but he wants to know, what does your gas station go to, man?
I love that question, man. I'm a sunflower seeds guy. I'm always grabbing seeds, sunflower seeds at a gas station for sure.
That's like a very healthy thing to grab. Like I expect that from you. We got another fan question here from Left Lane MMA. What's the craziest gym story that went out of control, like with someone coming to the gym for a spa that got out of hand? That's an interesting one. You guys have had some crazy ones with Sean. Is there one that stands out to you, maybe even not involving Sean, that people may not know about?
We get a quite an array of cast of characters in there, man. And I don't know what it is about MMA, but it just really brings out the most delusional types of individuals at times. But I think the one that we were just talking about not too long ago was a funny one. It was like a guy came in and he was it the pressure Denmark. We're like, he's like, if I do this pressure point, you know, your fucking liver's gonna fall out of your butt or something. I don't know, like just crazy shit. And he came in at one of our grappling practices, and I remember him going up to Coach Dennis, and he's like, hey, so like, what are the rules here? Like, am I allowed to use my Denmark and my pressure points and all this on stuff? And Dennis looked at him like square in his face. He's like, you can use whatever the fuck you want, buddy. And then we just proceeded to mop the mats of this poor guy, you know. So we've gotten all kinds of crazy people that come through the gym, man. And at the end of the day, you know, we're all freaking outlaws in a gym anyway. So we fit right in, and so do they.
So this Denmark guy had it's like a pressure point on your neck or something. He was trying to put a pressure point on you guys as you were sparring.
Yeah.
What?
No, yeah. Like I remember like you know, having this guy like, you know, in side control or something. I was just working a Kimura or whatever, and he was like trying to poke your neck or you know, like get you like what the fuck is this guy doing? And I remember Dennis was like, oh, he's a Denmark guy. You're like kind of like wink. You're like, oh yeah, fucking check this out, bud. Just ripping this guy's arm out.
You know what I love about this guy as well? It's like he thinks he's gonna kill you guys, and he's literally trying to kill you guys.
Oh, dude.
I ran into so many of those guys in the gym, man. It's always such a killer with that. It's like, dude, even if this was true, why would you be trying to kill us? We're trying to like do a light roll, and you're putting on some weird Singaporean death hold on me.
Right.
Nothing worse, man.
I actually think, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure it was him. I remember him. I think he bit somebody at the end of the session and was right out. Yeah, I'm almost positive. Like he was caught in a triangle, and the first thing he thought to do was to bite. Like he bit the person. I remember like him getting up and like running out of the gym. And I was like, why'd that guy run out of the gym? And the other guy's like looking at his leg, he just fucking bit me. I was like, why'd you let go of the choke? You should have put him to sleep.
Okay, you guys are so good to people, I swear. It's got to be you and the other coaches that keep the fighters in check, because people would be getting killed in other gyms. I see people get absolutely demolished for that kind of stuff. All right, last question here from a friend of the show, Ben Davis. Absolutely killing it. And I don't know this as well, so you got to explain it to me. Who's this Costco guy? Because he wants to know, what do you think of the Costco guys? Is the Rizzler better pound for pound than John Jones? If Big Justice hits 5 booms of CM Punk at WrestleMania, would he be able to pin him?
What?
And when is the Rizzler versus Ngannou collab? Or Rizzler x Ngannou? Explain this to me. What is happening?
Ben wrote me this morning, and I have no idea what any of that means. I don't even know what the Costco guys are. I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. Ben lives in his own little world, bro, and I'm just glad that he's a friend. He's an ally.
Oh yeah, he's a great dude.
I have no idea what that is.
Ben, you got to get off the wacky tobacco, my man. Hey, by the way, speaking of Francis, what do you think is next for Francis? What's the plan right now for his return?
No clue, really. I mean, I had Ray Seffel on my podcast yesterday. We kind of kicked around a couple ideas, and you know, the beautiful thing about Francis right now, he's in a position where he goes to the highest bidder. He can do whatever the hell he wants, you know. So I know Turkey spoke about having an option for him in boxing, an option for him in MMA, and that option, you know, presumably being John Jones. So, you know, we shall see. We'll see what kind of money and bargaining, you know, negotiation power these guys really have, you know. So we'll see.
Yeah, that would be amazing, man. How significant do you think a Fracis Ngannou versus John Jones fight would be for the heavyweight history of the heavyweight division, right? I'm trying to think. I think the last time there was a fight this big, it had to be your man Randy Couture versus Fedor when they were trying to put that together, right?
Yeah. We were actually just talking about that as well. That was, you know, the big thing I think was M1 at the time. I think that's who he was attached to. They wanted all these, you know, whatever stipulations and however the fight didn't transpire because of it. So, but I think it's the biggest heavyweight fight of all time, to be honest with you, just where these two guys are at in their careers. And, it could very well be both of their last fights if these guys were able to get this fight done. So, it'll be interesting. I think it's a fight everybody wants to see. No disrespect to Tom Aspinall. Tom's doing his thing in the UFC. And I would hate to see Tom have to wait. You know what I mean? Like, this poor guy's been waiting for his opportunity. So I think it's either, most likely it'll be Aspinall and John, but if there's some way that they can make Aspinall or Fracis and John, then that's definitely a fight to make. It's a stadium level show. It's huge.
They can't do this Alex Pereira and John fight, surely. He
No.
keeps asking for Alex Pereira. That's just negotiations, right? He doesn't actually
low hanging fruit there.
That can't happen, right? Like, he's like, I don't want to fight Tom. He's the interim champion and I'm the champion.
Yeah,
I don't want to fight. He's an asshole.
Yeah, this is the fight that you're supposed to unify the belt. Tom's been waiting. He's been doing everything right. He's been doing what he's supposed to do. I feel awful for the guy. He should be next in line for whatever it is, and that it should be John Jones.
Just quickly, how would you see a fight between Fracis and John even looking? You think it's just going to be one of those massive battles on the feet? Or you think John's just going to try and shoot in straight away, not mess around with Fracis too long? What do you think he would try to do in that fight?
Well, you can't sit there and play this strategic style of fight that John is so capable of kind of willing you into. We saw that with Stipe, that you just kind of fight at his pace. And I think that's where guys have such a hard time with him. He did a masterful job versus Stipe. Unfortunately, we haven't seen Stipe fight in 3 years. We didn't know really how he was going to look. And I wouldn't say he looked great, but John did everything he was supposed to do and won the way that he won. So, but that was the most cage time we've seen out of John in 4 years. So it gives you a little bit to look at and a little bit to work on. But, I have my ideas on how we would try to approach a fight like that with John. We had that, back in 2022 and we thought we were going to fight. So hopefully that, fingers crossed, somewhere I'm an optimist by nature. Hopefully maybe one day we'll have that opportunity to be able to game plan against them.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, obviously Stipe was a little bit compromised, but I found it interesting how he was able to close distance and actually land pretty close to John compared to a light heavyweight. So I can only imagine some of the game planning that you're doing on your end. Guys, make sure to check out Eric Nicksick's podcast. You got season 2, right?
Season 2's up.
I love it. Burn the boats, right? We're burning the boats.
Versus podcast, yes.
What do we got coming up? Can you reveal any guests? Do you guys pre-tape them in seasons?
Yeah, so we pre-taped yesterday Ray Sefo. So Ray Sefo will be the guest dropping for tomorrow's episode. Big brother, he's been my guy for years. A lot of the reasons why I'm in this sport today and the capacity I'm in it is because of Ray. So it was great to have him on the show. Talk PFL, talk his career. Xtreme Couture, from some really funny stories. Ray, you have to tune in. Some good stuff there. So some good stuff with Ray Sefo.
What about that Marquand fight? Classic fight. Love Ray Sefo. They were supposed to do a rematch at one point in New Zealand. Would have loved to see it. Guys, make sure to check out Xtreme Couture at Eric Nicksick versus Podman. You're a legend. Can't wait to catch up with you in person in Sydney in Feb.
We got to do that interview in Sydney next time.
We got to do it. Let's do it. So the sit down. All right, man. Have a great holiday season. Well deserved. A crazy year. One of the best coaches in the game, like I said. Make sure to take a second to enjoy those accolades, man. They're well deserved.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.